That's a Shame is brought to you by the people who support us over at patreon.com/shamecity.
If you have $1,
$2.
$1 to spare, join us again at patreon.com/shamecity. Please.
Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities.
Hello and welcome to episode 1.
The audio test did not account for this.
44. Aha. Declan, I've got to say, it's not only is it going to be a great show, but this one's going out to the gamers out there. Let's get a hand for the gamers.
Why is it going to them?
They need something. The world's against them, the gamers.
Oh,
they
still.
rise up over here, they rise up over there, and lo and behold...
What are they rising up against at the moment? Is it
What
inequality?
In a way,
Is
yes.
it fairness, representation?
Absolutely it is. Too much of all of those for the gamers.
Too much.
But I mean, our media that we've got these days...
I mean, the only game that I play,
Yep.
FIFA, there's, minorities of all sorts all over the gap. Not a
and
lot of
that
women.
annoys you as a gamer.
Not a lot of women. Not a lot of gay people.
So that's
No
tips in
trans
the gamer
people.
column.
Oh, no, I
Full
was thinking it
tips.
was negatives, but I'm saying racially it's very diverse.
God, you just don't get gamers. And that's the problem with people like you.
What about-
the liberal elite, may I say, living
that
here
me?
in your ivory tower on
Wow.
floor 4 of Northwest London's hottest destination.
I've never been accused of being the elite of very much at all.
You just don't know what it's like for us stuck in our gamer.
Are you a
closet.
gamer?
Of course, I'm a lead gamer.
Are you
I'm
up there?
Have you not heard me rising up in
Top
my
echelon.
room? Did you not know what that was?
No, well, I thought it was a rising up of a different sort.
But I was having a great big vomit. Oh, okay, it's the parliamentary election. I thought the TV had gone mad.
Oh, no.
And it's the racists have won.
Oh,
Great news.
great. Well
That's
done,
an
the racists. Well
exclusive TAS update there. God, it's going to be a good episode though, isn't it? And I do want to stress this. It is for the gamers. For the gamers, by the gamers.
By a game, I can't.
No,
claim to be.
you
Am
can.
I?
You are.
Am I? Am
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
enough
I've
of a
seen-
Smash Pro?
I've seen you on Wii Fit Trainer.
You've seen me screaming at the television.
Yeah, you
and
kick
that's
up
the
a
sort of
storm.
passion that can only come from being a true gamer.
How's it going, Declan?
Generally or gaming wise?
Yes.
Both fine.
Yeah, I'm
both
glad to
all
hear
right.
it.
Both been worse.
Trundling on the Great
Been
Path
better.
Avenue of Life.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Ever.
Next stop.
Interview. I've got a job interview.
No way.
I know. Imagine.
That's crazy.
For a real sort of job. Well,
In
real
the
job
TV
out.
sphere.
It's still not a real job.
No, well, what is a real job these days?
Normally one that involves a kind of either being a vlogger
Yeah.
or some sort of administrative duties that don't need to be there.
Have you had a go at being a vlogger? Because I really think now's the time. I've been studying the landscape, the media landscape. You probably heard me doing that in my room as well.
Yeah, well, always.
And sometimes I'll go, wow, opportunity, and that's when I've found like a gap in the market.
Oh right, and there's a gap
Often
in the market
those are filled
for-
very quickly.
for vloggage. Is there?
There's not just vloggage because that's quite saturated overall, but there's a particular, I suppose, oeuvre of vlogger that I just don't.
The
think's
white
quite
male
that-
voice.
Absolutely.
Underrepresented.
Gamer high five. Absolutely
Wow,
good.
incredible.
I think you've got something there. I can see you walking down New Bond Street holding your phone at your own face and just giving them the truth straight from your mouth.
What would I give the truth about though?
Oh, what wouldn't you give the truth about? You'd be calling them out left, right and centre, wouldn't you?
Fantastic.
The authorities,
The establishment.
the fucking...
The
don't
man,
get me started
as they
on
call
the
it.
man.
Although obviously not all men.
No. We should stress.
we should
hashtag
really need to-
not all man.
Yeah.
So that's a maybe, the vlogging.
Here's something that I want someone to tell me straight.
Okay, I'll do it.
You know the whole like tell it to me straight.
Yeah, like a pear cider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's what I want from that. Today I came home. Hadn't been in the flat. I'd been out of the flat, and I came home, and a friend and flatmate Mark was here.
Yeah.
The curtains were drawn.
Okay.
As they usually are.
Well, it's
to be
solemn.
fair.
It's a solemn
Exactly.
atmosphere. I try and conjure in the flat.
Reverential.
Yes, it's exalted.
But it was a reasonably nice day today, so I thought let in a little bit of light.
it was hot as fuck.
Open the door because it is way too warm and I need to cool down. So I opened the curtains
vlogging at the time.
No, sadly not. I wish.
So you're
I wish, because then I'd have caught this moment live. What happened was I pulled back the curtains, and we live on the 4th floor, the top floor, penthouse.
Yeah, it is pretty. It doesn't. They didn't sell it as a penthouse.
No, but
and indeed, we haven't bought it
by
because
definition
we're too poor. But it wasn't
is.
rented out as the penthouse. But
No.
I guess we think of it as, and it's a corner flat. Is that? I hear that's good.
Corner top floor flat.
When you go to a hotel, the big suite's often in the corner because you get that double.
The idea of the corner office.
God, yeah, this is our corner office that we're in even
right now. Yeah,
and I'm going to open that.
It's much too depressing.
Oh, very
Close that again.
And that's why we keep them shut.
So this morning I went against that rule and I opened them, and there on the balcony was face down a piece of post.
A piece of post, a POP.
A piece of post. Yeah, a letter, if you will.
Okay.
White envelope. And it was just sort of sat there quite actually neatly.
Yeah, very neatly.
On the, at right angles to everything, on the balcony. Now, you normally deal with the post because you have the post key to the post box, which is in reception.
I'm kind of the postmaster for the building. Yeah.
Right. Now, do you normally collect the post from the balcony?
I have been collecting the post for 18, 19 months now, and only 0 times has it been from the balcony.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you where it's mostly from. It's the post box.
Now, that does make sense. That's a logical.
And that's downstairs, and our lovely postman.
And it's at the front of the building.
Yeah, it's at the front, it's by the door, because what they do is the postman drives up in his big red van. He'll unload, presumably, all the cats and stuff that he's brought with him, and then find our or someone else's post fairly regularly, and then he'll just shove it right in, because we don't want to make it. Think how much effort it would be to climb up
to pop it on the balcony.
Interior balcony. You'd have to break into the complex and then climb
scale 4 floors.
And I've met the man. He's very dexterous, and he has seen me shirtless more times than most people have in my life. When he comes a knocking to talk about the bell
in the morning,
in the morning. But I don't want to put him down, but I don't think he's got that kind of physique.
Exactly, and so
maybe floor 3 he could balcony deliver.
But they've got a big net over there.
They've had too many
postmen.
They've had too many of my amiibos flung right down their balcony.
So what I'm worried about is the fact that the post box is at the front of the building on the bottom floor,
the ground floor.
Yeah, and our balcony is at the back of the building.
It's kind of diagonally opposite.
Yeah, it's about as far away from our post box as it could be.
The furthest point in the building away from the post box.
Yeah, and that's where the post was.
Yeah, it did end up there. But just the one post.
Just the one piece of post, and importantly, not ours.
It's for flat 1.
It's for flat number 1, which is on floor number 1.
Yeah.
Not on
closer again.
Not on floor 4. And troublingly, I mean, but here's the thing: is that it's not random because we're flat 13, are we not?
Yeah, I've taken.
And it was 4, flat 1, 3, Guardian Avenue.
Yeah. Which is our address.
Don't
send us anything bad. Okay.
That's flat 1's address.
Yeah, true. So there was a sense that it had been placed. The whole scene. If Poirot had walked in, he would have been hard as a rock for solving immediately, and that would have been really clear to Hastings and Miss Lemon and anyone else. They kind of have to look embarrassedly away and just be like, "Oh, it's a continental thing," ejaculated Hastings. But his immediate reaction, and I know this because my gamer handle has been Poirot07 since 2007, which is
that
12 years now.
Zeus, who of course knows everything anyway.
He's less of a solver. He's more of a kind of brute force.
Yeah,
just knows it omnipotently anyway, omnisciently. He would have come out, old Poirot, with his perfectly coiffed tash, looked at that piece of post and said, "Randomness? I don't think so." And that is a line from one of the unpublished Agatha Christie's, Poirot and the balcony mischief. Not brackets, not what you think.
The balcony post pervert.
Yeah. Pervert it meant a different thing back in the day.
Yeah, it just meant
like the word queer.
Generic sex criminal.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were just throwing it out there for the listenership. tass@shame.city.
If anyone
have you done this?
Yeah, if anyone has any ideas, or if anyone would like to confess.
Yeah, we haven't really stressed that it's particularly weird. It's placed like, this is one of those cultural references that no one else has.
I'll probably post the picture onto the Twitter.
But there was the program on the television, which is kind of a pre-gamer's computer device back in the day.
I do.
Called something like...
How did you control, like...
You just, I think, shout at it, and it basically does. If
I'm
you've
good
got
at
enough
actually.
authority.
I could.
It was called something like "There's a Murderer," maybe a bit catchier name than that, and it was like Big Brother, but one of them would be murdered every week,
right?
And it was real people, and obviously the murders
actually getting murdered
were less real.
Yeah.
But the person, it would be like scary for the person who was being murdered. They were like kidnapped from the program, and one of the lasting images that's really seeped into my being is that whenever it was kind of randomly done, which I think is quite clever. It wasn't like every Friday we have to vote someone out. It was like it could be at any time in the next couple of weeks, and the only way they'd find out is in the morning. It was this really beautiful house in the middle of nowhere, like very modern landscape, lots of chrome and glass, and there was, I think, a button that opened the blinds, so they would have like a shot, a bit like Paranormal Activity, from the corner, like CCTV, of someone like waking up, coming down their dressing room. They'd press the button for the blinds, and written in giant bloody letters would be like, "Coming out to play," or something like that. And they would, every time, even though obviously they've got to know that was a possibility, it would just, they would fucking
freak out.
Start squawking around.
Yeah, it does feel like, I mean, admittedly a slightly subtler,
but
a no less
on
creepy
on the trajectory.
Yeah.
Like today post, tomorrow blood.
The idea of anyone having been on our balcony from outside the flat is actually very horrible.
So as not to leave any clothing residue.
But lots of skin.
Well, they know that the skin, you'd never be able to charge. That skin would not be admissible in court because this is an external
You seem to know a lot
balcony.
about
I've
trespassing and what can and cannot be
in a legal field
prosecuted
at the moment. And these things come up more than you'd think. But yeah, the skin, it can float up from maybe floor 2. I know they've got a lot of skin on floor 2.
It's all like flapping about.
It's very loose, isn't it? It's kind of desiccated, like a condition almost. And I have sent down some E45 to help that out. But the point is, it was placed. It was done in such a way, like when I go to my grandma's and I leave weird things around to freak out my psychopath uncle when he returns, such as I'm trying to instill in. He is actually, I don't know if I've ever talked about him before, but he's mental. Like he's also like a criminal.
Yeah.
So I do things like I will leave in the room that I know he's going to sleep in. I'll leave a few mirrors that like point at each other, and then at like a post-it note. But also the first one will be plainly visible when you open the door. There's like a theatricality to it that Patrick Jane, the mentalist, was always really a big fan of. With Red John's
that again is another of your
circle. It's another person I identify with in
another of your online handles.
A big way, absolutely it is. So we're being targeted.
He was a bit of a prick, the mentalist.
No, he was a lovely guy.
He quite broadly hated.
No one hated him at all.
No,
I think you're confusing him with anyone else.
Did you? Okay, sure.
Yeah, he was a great guy. His family had been killed. It was quite sad. It's quite disrespectful that you'd bring that up. Actually,
you can be a cunt and a victim.
You can't.
Can you not?
No, that's victim blaming. Thank you for checking.
So I would like to say that I do think it was actually his fault in the show as well.
It was. That's true. Murdered, he went on a talk show, pretended to psychically identify.
Whilst it is victim blaming, it is also correct.
Well, I suppose sometimes life throws those two together.
Yeah, I'm not saying this is a broadly applicable.
It's really weird that on our Gamer special, you've devoted 28 minutes of it to attacking TV's Patrick Jane, played by Simon Baker, the Australian man. But that's something for you to think about. And something for you to think about, and I turned my head now to the phone, wherein live the listeners, virtually speaking, is why, oh why, on God's green earth, would someone crawl either up 4 floors or down from the roof?
Up 5 and down 1 from the roof.
Sick, isn't it? And place one piece of post. Have you opened the post? I know that's a crime that you shouldn't admit to.
No, I think it's medical post.
But what if it's like they've been dead for 20 years and they're called something like Decal Daloon, and it's a message?
That sounds racist, number 1. They weren't, number 2. And number 3, I'll probably take it down tomorrow to their house.
After you've opened it and had a...
Yeah.
Well, you should, when you hand it to them, I think you're going to have to be prepared to...
Explain why
no.
the entirety of the situation.
Absolutely not. You've got the wrong end of the stick. I'm saying you go in hard and accusatory.
Suss it out.
Yeah, you need to... You don't... You know that thing you can do where if you hand someone something...
What'd you put this post on my balcony for,
what
bitch?
I'm thinking is, you know when you're talking to someone, you can like hand them things, and as long as you carry on talking, they won't realise that you're handing them things, and they'll just take stuff. I think if you could summon a confidence as you walk down our stairs, because our lift's broken, which only adds to the challenge of cutting up here.
Oh, it's not the lift, it's our button.
True. If you could summon the confidence to, when knock on the door, you're holding the piece of post, as soon as they open it, you're in the house and you're searching every room, but in an affable kind of like, oh, lovely place, here's the post, lovely place you've got here. Like really, you'd have to keep them it'd be like juggling a lot of balls. You've got to keep them off their guard, slightly off centre.
You know you're allowed one phone call when you go to prison. Do you think that we could like ring that episode?
Yeah, I think that'd be fine.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
I don't see you being arrested for that though, because it does come down to the...
I nearly got arrested for jaywalking. So.
That's true.
We've got a feature. I've brought a feature.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, no. Well, you see, what I thought was, over the last sort of 3 episodes, what the listeners have had is a lot of make-believe. Very little grounded in reality, like the Imagiporium.
Well, the Imagiporium was a product of reality. Let's not forget.
No, it was.
It comes from a very real place, and then it asks us to dare to dream. What would it be like if Amoeba had the horn?
Yeah,
and we put that one to bed.
And I thought,
in every sense,
I thought they maybe deserved a break from that. Just a small
light and shade. You said deserve, but that made it sound
of
like
a good thing. Yeah.
You've swung that back round.
That is what I and the listeners agreed on as the way to tell you.
Okay,
we thought it might be the most.
No, it's fine. I know you can't always have a gold week.
I've got a cups special, and this is special because we have more cups than ever before.
Yeah,
there are not 1,
orange,
2,
blue,
or 3 cups here. There's 4
bonus pink.
Goddamn cups.
Yeah, and each of them, you said each of them represents a different aspect of your life as a gamer.
No, you said that just now.
No, I didn't. I did say just now, but I was repeating it for you because what did you say the pink one was?
That was my gay.
Okay, that's the GAY gamer.
Yeah.
Right, nice. That's wordplay. The green, that was because you like what Xboxes?
No, I'm just a very envious person.
Okay, and then the light blue, that's quite a beautiful
depression.
Blue. Okay, it's not what I would have thought because it's quite a that's a darker blue, but it's depression tinged with silver linings.
No.
Oh, okay, it's actually much worse.
Yeah,
and then the orange, the real
ginger
gamer
hair.
Oh, that's lovely that you prepared that. Was that the whole feature, or was there?
That's it. Yeah, thanks very much for listening, everyone. What it is this week it was announced that dear Mr. Robert Pattinson, off of the Twilight Saga, off of playing a vampire, off of didn't like being in the Twilight Saga.
Yeah. Despite the fact that the first Twilight film is fine. I'm going to put that on the record. Okay, well, it's a good film. It's the best film ever made. It's the Casablanca of the modern age.
We stand the OG.
I think go back and watch Twilight. It's fine.
It's very
fine. Good soundtrack. It's good. Nicely made. Great. I'd watch it now.
There's a scene where they play baseball to Muse's supermassive black hole.
Hot. Every film should have that, and every film, in fact, does. If you know where to look.
Citizen Kane, the finest moment in film. So what I thought is like that was a casting that came out of the blue. It wasn't necessarily bad casting by any means.
I think it's good.
But it took some people by surprise.
Yeah.
Not everyone has reacted positively.
No. Well, they thought he was still playing Cedric Diggory.
And it's a bit left field. Mm-hmm. And it comes as we're in a year in which there will be released, I believe, a Martin Scorsese directed Joker movie, starring Mr. Phoenix.
Yeah, that is unusual. It looks good though, doesn't it?
It looks very good, but it again, kind of, if you'd said 5 years ago that was going to be a film, I don't think people would have
been burned as a witch.
Well, yes, exactly. And not for your prescience, but indeed for your
being
sacrilege.
A horrid witch.
Yes. So what I thought I'd do is, we like to try and stay ahead of the curve here. That's a shame. We don't like to be left behind. We think of ourselves, you're like an early adopter.
Yeah, I am. I sometimes adopt too early is my problem.
Yeah.
At the kind of preconception stage where really what you're left with is just a bag of electronics.
Yeah, and then it turns out that nothing ever comes of it, and you've just still got those electronics that cost you a lot of money.
But I agree with the sentiment that TAS, we're tastemakers, I think, is a term.
Exactly. So what I thought is that there's no way that either of those films was the product of any kind of genuine decision-making process. I'm fairly certain it was kind of darts thrown at various ideas that were just in the idea sphere, in the blue sky of the said thinking.
Yeah.
And so what I thought is we could use a similar process to try and pick what's going to be coming up.
Okay, so it's a prediction.
It's a prediction, and then we're going to have to flesh the idea out ourselves.
Yeah.
So that if it then does get made, we can sue them. Yeah, exactly.
Well, we will sue them.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
Whether they come up with the idea or not.
I'm starting litigation tomorrow. I don't know against who. Robert Pattinson.
As ever with the cups, we have a template sentence.
Okay.
And this week it is breaking news.
That was the breaking news sound.
Colon.
Yeah.
Blank has just been cast as blank in blank's upcoming blank.
Bloody hell, there's so many blanks.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what to do with myself.
So each one refers to thus, and the cups are in order order to fit that. Breaking news, said actor has just been cast as this character in this director's upcoming, and then a genre.
Oh, a genre.
A genre.
Oh, so not
film.
A specific film.
No, a genre of film. Because sometimes you characters get shoehorned into a particular franchise,
like
and
the Joker in a rom-com. It sounds bad, and it would be bad. So that's an easy solve.
And yet it's always a possibility. And it depends on the casting and the director.
That's really true.
So I thought you may as well.
Is it a team thing though? Are we picking like one each collaboratively?
Oh yeah, well I said we'll take it in turns to pick them out because it's always fun to just do the lucky dip. But we'll chat about it together. Okay, it's not a test.
So I'm going to go
there are no right answers.
Right, that's good to know. Breaking news. Christopher Walken. Do your impression.
No,
you love to. You love to do that.
Don't do
you
it.
said you were going to do it.
But I didn't, because you didn't know he was even in the car.
Fuck.
So go on.
Oh, Christopher Walken.
It's the worst thing when people do their
I don't like Christopher Walken impressions. I can do an alright one actually. I'm not going to. But just let it be known that
cool.
It's subtle. It's not what you'd expect. Because a lot of people
it's
are
not a comedy
impression. Oh, Christopher Walken. Oh. But he doesn't do that as much as you'd think.
No.
And in fact, it's often a downbeat. A down inflection that really gets to the heart of the Walken.
I feel like you've distracted.
Breaking news: Christopher Walken has just been. Wouldn't you like to pick this
go
next
on.
one?
These ones are yours.
Has just been cast as about 10 different people come out. Mother Teresa.
Wow.
Goodness,
bold
that's
already.
Innovative. In someone's upcoming, and that someone is Spike Lee's. Wow, Spike Lee joint upcoming. Action thriller. Well, that bit checks out.
Yeah, that's come on.
So when I look at these four that I've arranged, I think you'll agree very nicely on the coaster.
Yep. Now, do you want to just read again? So, breaking news:
Christopher Walken has been cast as Mother Teresa in Spike Lee's upcoming action thriller, and perhaps we'll come up with a name towards the end.
Yeah,
that could be the cap.
Okay.
When I look at them like this, I start to see. As I see most things in the world, those red lines form between very disparate connections. And I look at Christopher Walken action thriller, those two, that's a match made in heaven. He's in that film about time, where there's a time thief, and he loves to chase the time thief.
He's, of course, in James Bond film.
Yes, so he plays
in A View to the Kill.
Horrid, tall, evil man.
Who has a blimp.
Spike Lee, an action thriller. That's a difficult combination because there's not generally a lot of political content in the action thriller genre.
No, they're often based in a political sphere, but without any actual politics because you don't want to muddy the waters.
Apart from a kind of tacit endorsement of a very militaristic
of imperialism and torture wherever it may be needed.
Which brings me to Mother Teresa, where I think that MT and action thriller, that's a wholesome marriage. Absolutely just made for each other, those bedfellows.
Now, this is the second episode in a row where we've had people marrying animals mentioned.
Interesting. So that can be a part of the film, maybe.
Okay. All right.
Mother Teresa. Well, I don't know if she did marry an animal. I assume we'd have heard if she hadn't.
I don't think that she did.
But she could have done.
Yeah.
And that can be the source of a lot of both action and thrills.
Oh, you better believe it.
So,
now, what about Christopher Walken and Spike Lee? Now, Spike Lee, quite famed for being progressive director,
Yeah.
one who likes to cast, to discover
Yeah.
new minority ethnic talent.
Yeah. Such as Christopher Walken, you're saying.
Oh, well, he is an old white man.
And don't forget, very rich and already successful.
Well, yes, exactly.
So I think Spike...
So why do you think Spike has kind of spiked his own rules?
Thank you for asking. I think it was a dare.
Ah.
And I think I remember reading a tweet thread that said it was something to do with Christopher Walken was on a night out in York, funnily enough, and he went to Cuda, where
you used to love Cuda.
Paul Bailey Haig was DJing, of course, PBH.
Of course.
PBH with the hands in the air voice. And long story short, Spike Lee cast him as Mother Teresa. So
he cast Paul Bailey Haig as Mother Teresa.
PBH couldn't do it, and he said, "You know
My
what,
buddy C.W.
C. Walks stepped in to fill that void."
I see. Okay, so I think I think I remember that.
Well, it was the point. I guess
it's definitely been deleted.
Yeah, it has been deleted because it was kind of too close to the bone, to the truth, for any of those actors to. I include Paul Bailey Haig as an actor in the same sentence.
He's an actor in the narrative of this,
exactly.
of this film coming to fruition.
Too true to be allowed.
Right.
And in the same way, I think this idea of truth and duplicity could be a real theme that Walken and Lee tie their, what's the expression, their horse to.
You're obsessed with the horse today.
Just the
horse
dog.
Of horse.
Yeah.
Now, something that I haven't, specified or isn't specified in the prompt, but you seem to have taken upon yourself to assume is that Walken is the lead, that Mother Teresa is the kind of focus of the film.
Yeah.
And is that the case for this one?
It is the case.
It is the case.
It's but it's not necessarily the way you'd think. She's not.
Is she a protagonist?
She's what I'm going to call a kind of ambivalent narrator figure, where the action takes place through the lens of Mother Teresa, as so many action films do.
Like F. Murray Abraham in Grand Budapest.
It's exactly like that. Down to the very costume aesthetic.
In fact, we're going to replace Walken.
I think Mother Teresa is narrating a film about her being assassinated, but it's all different stages of Mother Teresa's life, and Walken only plays the final incarnation.
Oh, I see.
So we start with a baby MT, when she was called Baby Teresa back in those days, and Mother Teresa was her parent, her mother figure, played by John Travolta. Reuniting the Hairspray magic. Yeah. He's in the same costume. He's doing that same
same voice.
Where the O's, they get very flat, and you do wonder where it's from, that voice. But I love to listen to it. And he'll do that bit. I haven't cleared it with the script editor, but I do want to get in that hey Tracy, look at me, I'm the cutest chickie that you ever did see moment in what's his name's Hefty Hideaway. Because that's vintage Travolta, and it's the kind of thing that a young Mother Teresa would have seen and thought, wow, that's what it means to be a mother. And that's perhaps the origin story of the name.
Now, that character, I remember part of their story arc was them coming to terms with their own size, with their own weight.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, Mother Teresa, as far as I remember, was always a rather frail and skinny figure.
Was she always, though?
That's what I'm saying.
Let's peel back the layers
is that the initial...
Yeah.
My goodness.
She was brought up in a family where it was normal to gorge.
I see.
Yeah.
And that is why she denied patients in her hospital's medicine.
It's exactly right. It's really great. It's really reassuring
why she wouldn't give them painkillers.
It's great to me that you can already trace those links for yourself and that I don't have to spell them out, because this is obviously an intellectual movie. This isn't going to just grab the audience by the hand and lead them softly down the garden path to MT's death. This is a film where a great deal of the scenes, appear to have no internal or external logic governing their order, their contents, or even the very words spoken within them. And it will be up to the audience to just piece it together.
And now, I didn't want to be like egregious with the number of cups that we had, but do you have anyone in mind to write, or is it going to be again a collaborative we get a different writer for each section. We slam it together.
I think that's a
much
really
like
nice
some
idea.
of our own
Yeah.
written.
No, I
written
think
work.
that's nice because I think we want to bring. It should be an anthology movie then.
Yeah, a bit like that Bob Dylan one.
Yeah, but better than that.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, in the sense that we're going to get an age-appropriate writer to write for each age of Mother Teresa's life. A baby for the baby scenes, and those will be particularly hard to follow. A very, very old person for the very, very old Mother Teresa scenes, and those will probably be some of the most boring moments committed to cinema.
What if we get the actor themselves playing Teresa in that part of their life to write that section?
I worry that we'd be accused then of a kind of nepotism because you can't fuck around with
I don't think the
writers'
WGA
guilds.
are going to
Yeah.
take...
They will strike
They'll get
at
another...
the drop of a hat.
They'll
And
get
we'll have
another
a Hero
Twitter
Season
profile.
3 on our go.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough.
One question for you, because obviously this is fleshed out to a really high extent.
Frightening.
To a very fleshy extent. And that fleshy could be something we latch onto in the title. The action thriller is not traditionally so avant-garde a structural piece as we're proposing. How do we ensure that the constant battle between Mother Teresa and forces unknown carries through in each age of her life without losing the momentum in, say, some of the boring, like in her 20s, like late 20s? What was she even about?
I'm just going to interrupt you there, and I'm going to say it's a CGI devil in the background of every scene.
When you say the background, is it like a Billy's Beat?
What I meant was the foreground.
Oh, okay.
Was I meant like right
like
over
a
the top?
watermark.
Yeah, but no, more like, you know, on American TV,
Yeah.
when sometimes it'll be like, up next is going to be, and there's like a little video
Yes,
of
I
them
do.
like folded arms and then like turning, or maybe they're doing like finger guns, and he's just there the whole time.
I'm getting a really strong. I don't know where this is coming from. But,
Also, we could just advertise there as well and make a bit more revenue.
well, of course we'll do that. We'll have the devil say things like, "Buy Kleenex."
He's wearing a Taco Bell t-shirt.
I'm thinking we haven't heard from her in a while. I can't imagine she's busy. Joss Stone as the devil. Now, traditionally a singer, of course, but obviously desperate to branch out into cinema when she hears that Walken's attached there to Spike Lee joint. And
She's
SLJ.
always wanted to be in a Spike Lee movie, but thus far
chomping
has been
at the bit.
hamstrung.
She's made her own version of
by
doing
his,
the right thing.
if I
And it's
may
very
say
offensive.
so, by his racist approach to casting.
Is that what you?
Well, the
consider
gamers
it?
have been saying, you know, because
Have
it's
they?
like,
well, it's like when they took The Witcher,
yeah,
or as we call it, The Whiter,
oh,
and they've only gone and made some of the characters not white. It's mad.
well, that's discrimination.
Well, it's Netflix. They've gone mad.
Yes,
And that's why I boycott.
well, they're
them.
SJW
Yeah,
cocks.
well, of course they are. Yeah, I call it
And
cockflix.
Spike, he's like the head of that.
Is he a?
Because like I'm
SJ.
I mean I don't have any evidence, but I'm pretty sure that BAME people are massively overrepresented in film
cinema.
anyway, I think, yeah, and indeed in all walks of life.
I'll take your word for it. I haven't got the data to hand.
No, I haven't
but
either.
As a gamer, it
I didn't
sounds
see
like the
any,
kind of
but
thing
I'm
I
pretty
thought
sure
anyway.
from what I've like watched.
Well, if you're confirming that's the case,
yeah, well, I think so. Yeah,
that's really that meshes with my experience.
Yeah.
Spike Lee has a very interesting sense of musicality in his films. I was just thinking back to Radio Raheem in the excellent Do the Right Thing, carrying that boombox around. I think Public Enemy feature quite heavily. Joss Stone soundtrack is going to be part of her rider, and how is that going to kind of fit into the Lee-verse musically, sonically speaking? Because what songs does she have? Take me through some of the
no, well, she'd be writing original
original material,
yeah.
all from the perspective of Mother Teresa.
No, from the perspective of the devil, who
Watching
she
Mother
plays.
Teresa as a baby, as an adolescent,
Yeah.
as a 27-year-old. That seems
Good.
like a suitably ambiguous age. Like
Then I think we
mid-20s
jumped
is
to
done.
late 60s.
I think we jumped to the grave. After
Okay,
that.
yeah, that's fair
and then
enough.
it's a kind of her watching what could have been when she's
Yeah.
watching the film of her life back.
It's cool that we've got like it's framed as Walken looking back.
Yeah.
But then it's Walken looking back through the eyes of the devil.
Fuck,
Mother
yeah.
Teresa looking through the eyes of the devil at Mother Teresa.
So we're playing with that unreliable narrator convention.
Very, 'cause, like,
Walken
double-
loves that as well.
He's big on that, like the
Yeah.
Gold Watch from Pulp Fiction. That
God.
monologue is, I think, basically the blueprints for his performance in this film.
And no more unreliable than his Mouse Hunt performance, where he tells us he's eating mouse shit And
and he was.
He is. But because it was done in the confines of a feature film, you assume, it's probably a raisin. But no, Walken was devouring fecal mouse matter.
He's a famous method actor.
Yeah, whether that method is...
Now, if they trained that mouse...
to shit on cue.
In your toilet,
you would know.
You would know. You would know. Okay, cool. I just
Don't be silly. That's a scale problem.
Okay.
If you blew up a mouse, honey, I blew up the kids style to the size of a man and asked it to go to town in the porcelain pot, all bets are off.
Anyone's game.
Could be anything by anyone.
So I suppose all that's left here really is, have you had any ideas of what you want to call this movie?
Thank you for throwing that over to me, because I was very ready to answer. I think when we come to titling it, and obviously we'll have to go through the usual test focus groups, test audiences and all of that. For whatever reason, I think we should not shy away from the idea that this is an ambitious and avant-garde piece at its core.
Well, obviously.
And that's why I think it has to be in French, the title.
Okay, well that is your oeuvre.
So, yeah, we don't say oeuvre in French there, and that's actually a hate crime that you've done against the film project.
That is what they say.
I'm thinking it's got to be something like un film de Thérèse, colon, and I don't know the word for colon in French, so we're going to say colon. And then in English, I guess it would be Teresa's Tea Time Troubles. Which in French is untranslatable, and that's just one of the hurdles.
So
we'll
just pop a cedilla under something, and then that'll be
that. Well, all of the letters, the more the merrier.
It's just a big hiss.
And there we have it.
Wow, incredible!
On film de Mother Teresa, Teresa's Tea Time Troubles, coming what year? 2021.
Yeah,
quick turnaround. Well, it's mostly an indie project as well.
Well, obviously, Spike hasn't got the budget.
Breaking news.
Imelda Staunton.
Oh, hello.
Here we go, you see.
Goodness, okay. My mind's already reeling with possibility.
Has just been cast as Bigfoot.
Wow. That's novel.
Yeah,
because she's one of the smallest people I've ever seen.
That's one of the, filmic glass ceilings as well, isn't it, to play Bigfoot?
Yeah, well, it is, yeah.
In Stanley Kubrick's upcoming...
Now, I've got some questions about that, but I'll hold on to them for now.
In Stanley Kubrick's upcoming slapstick comedy.
Wow, okay. There's a lot going on, but at the same time, I basically have no queries about this project. It seems to me to make total sense. An almost too well realised...
Obvious.
Yeah, because as soon as you say Imelda, you
think big.
You think huge. You think feet. You think presence. And who has more presence than the abominable Yeti?
Yeah, slinking away into the forest in that footage we already have of him.
Yeah, well, we've got more footage than you'd think, but less than you'd hope for, I suppose. And that's the sweet spot where Imelda lies as well, because as a primarily theatre actor, you very rarely get any lasting memories of her performances. And that can be something we play with, that ambiguity, the cryptozoology of Imelda Staunton.
Outside of theatre, she's not a huge leading lady.
You don't consider Dolores Umbridge a lead?
No.
Interesting.
An antagonist, a primary antagonist.
I suppose perhaps. It wasn't called Dolores Umbridge's Attack on the Order of the Phoenix.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is, novel. It will be a mixture of both motion capture and just practical makeup effects.
Okay. Why the mixture? Why do we need...
It brings a realism to it.
Oh, does it? Because at first glance, I would have thought it would completely undermine both of them individually.
No, that was the mistake they made with all the new Jurassic World films. So there's barely any practical effects. It's all just CG.
And Imelda's not in any of them.
Well, yeah, that was another mistake.
She didn't play a single fucking dragon.
Single dinosaur, single plant maybe in the background.
She's picky, isn't she, about her roles?
And I hear that she and Spielberg don't.
They don't see eye to eye after. Well, we needn't mention some real bad blood there.
But the original certainly is blessed by this mixture of the practical and the CG effects, and I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to get a bit of motion capture. They've already got Serkis on board to train her. He wanted to play Bigfoot himself, but they said you just don't have the range.
You can play the snow maybe and some of the trees.
He's going to play the abominable snowman in a sort of deleted scene. They've already decided it will be deleted.
Okay, that's quite good because I don't think he cares about whether the films see the light of day. He just loves wearing. He loves to wear the pimples.
He just likes to stick them all over himself.
He loves to wear the suit and go broadly underlooked.
He likes living in a completely green room.
Is Andy Serkis the Anthony Daniels of the modern age? I've got an answer to this.
Okay,
and my answer is no. But my family, for whatever reason, have really taken against Andy Serkis as a concept. I think when Lord of the Rings first came out, and he played the horrible freak lizard man Gollum. You may remember.
I don't recall.
He looks like if a pebble grew too many appendages, a lot of slime, and 3 lanky hair strips.
And he said, "You shall not pass."
That's him. Yeah, that's him. And then he bites Saruman's finger off. I think that's how it happens. But I think around that time there must have been some new. I guess Andy Serkis was on the news circuits a lot, promoting the film, because they were big films, Lord of the Rings, weren't they? In every sense of the term. And for whatever reason, I think there's a whole generation of people who really got the hump with him, who thought that his contribution to cinema was less than perhaps he thought it was. Because he is playing Gollum. Every move Gollum does, Andy did. But at the same time, artists did also.
He literally bit several cast members' fingers clean off.
Absolutely.
Well, and they will not work with him anymore.
Not willingly, at least, but equity contracts can be a real bastard to get out of. So no, for me, he's not. Whereas Anthony Daniels, well, talk to me about him. You see him as a kind of Olivier figure.
An idol.
Yeah, the C-3PO that we deserved.
And that we rightly were blessed with.
Yeah. Well, the films would be nothing without him.
No, well, that's it. He makes or breaks them.
Yeah.
And when the films are good, it's because C-3PO is good.
Yeah.
And when the films are bad, it's because they have really shafted his part and he hasn't been able to work his magic on them.
They got...
I mean, he's just so funny.
He speaks so many languages.
Cracks me up.
And have you seen when he walks all funny as well? He walks like...
Oh, no,
it's a man.
Actually, yeah,
but his joints are a bit stiff.
No, you mentioned it. Yeah,
the physical
quite
performance
funny. Oh,
is off the charts.
See, it's layers. Every time you watch it, there's something new that you...
There is more and more to enjoy about... I call him 3PO because I kind of see him as an old friend.
I just call him PO.
Okay, that's an interesting one up there. So Anthony Daniels is going to be in...
Sometimes I just go,
oh yeah, I do know him. The gold Robo lad.
Yeah, him.
Friends with the round Robo bin.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we've got Staunton, we've got Serkis, we've got Anthony Daniels playing C-3PO. What is the setting where all these 3 elements can join?
Well, I'm thinking that this is a film that's going to hark back to the real... almost pre-talkie days, that interesting transition from...
Like The Artist?
Yeah, that kind of, end era Buster Keaton into kind of Laurel and Hardy sort of period where we're getting singing and dancing in films. Yep. We're getting words, but we're staying as well with the traditional building of the gag as a physical,
it's a visual
medium. It's going to be in the woods, but there's going to, of course, be a kind of tension because we want to get an environmental narrative in there about they're expanding the cities into Bigfoot's territories. But, of course, it's a slapstick comedy. We're not going to play too seriously with it. Largely, I think we just get someone who's really fat because fat people...
In film, they're the funniest.
They're so funny, yeah.
That's what I've read.
And if you make a character fat, then you know both that they're either stupid or evil.
Evil as well, or both, maybe.
Yeah, because the fat controller.
Well, he's the picture of evil.
Yeah, Kingpin.
Mm-hmm. King DDD.
Horrific.
Hugely evil man.
Or Fat Thor in the new Avengers.
Okay, well, I haven't seen that.
Oh, don't worry about it. But he's just fat.
Okay,
for a bit.
interesting.
Don't worry about that. Or just all the funny.
So who are we thinking? Who are we casting?
Oh, anyone.
Maybe we could ask Andy Serkis to change his body weight
beyond his rage again.
Maybe
we get Christian Bale in.
What if Serkis plays the paunch? So
we do that.
We get him playing a character and then mocapping,
and that way we don't have to give it any lines.
No, there'd be a lot of jiggling about, but very little in the way of speech.
So they're playing I don't know, some town.
It would have to be like an oil man.
Yeah, and
I'm thinking a very oily, like an oil man.
Yeah, an oil man and an oil man. Oil space man and an oil hyphen man.
And he's got to be very sweaty.
Well, that comes by that saying with the oil.
Absolutely. And I want him... He's got to have an accent.
I'm laughing just thinking about him.
His accent's got to be very funny.
Oh, yeah. German. He speaks with a little...
lisp.
A German lisp, high-pitched girl's voice.
Oh, mine oil man. Yeah, like that kind of thing. That was just a raw take. Yeah. I haven't practiced that.
No. Have you not?
Mine oil man, where is the big foot? Yeah, like that kind of...
You forgot
Where is the big foot?
Yeah, oh, that's fantastic.
What about this? The big foot? He can't say it properly.
Like he puts the stress on big rather than foot.
The big foot. I don't like that.
No. Or maybe equally
big foot.
The big foot.
Maybe he changes it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like Steve Martin's turn in the Pink Panther.
Fantastic.
The funniest film
That's kind of the energy that we're going for.
A film that I've seen once and laughed at more times than I'd ever have imagined, and refused to see again because I'm certain it's bad.
Yeah, well,
I don't want to be disavowed of the notion that it's the best comedy of the 2000s.
It was nothing before or since.
I think I was very drunk. Honestly, it was like 2 a.m. and it made me laugh so much.
It's so stupid. It's funny. But yeah, I'm thinking that's the kind of energy we're going for.
Is it? So it's cutting between, and correct me if I'm wrong, this hyper comedic office drama of Serkis's Oil Inc., Acme Oil, for example.
Yeah.
And then
sorry, I didn't just write that down.
Yeah, get that down. Acme, AC. Yeah.
Acme.
From that, maybe oil, every other scene.
OIL.
Yeah. Cool. Do an exclamation mark as well. Yeah. And the we put in quotes, we got Greece. We got Greece. GREA.
Greece.
Not a country.
Yeah,
you fucked it.
Okay, yeah.
We'll fix it in post.
Great.
We're cutting between this office hilarity and what I'm picturing as a kind of that wistful pre-talkies slapstick where it's quite sad. The Charlie Chaplin, where everything's going wrong. I want that energy just to play off this light and shade.
Well, you see, that is why we're getting Kubrick.
Where he's a master of tone.
Exactly.
And a master of having a guy in a dog suit suck someone off in The Shining.
And also, the whole thing is lit by candles. So there's going to be a lot of health and safety stuff because you're not really allowed to do that in the woods. But which I think if we get it done in like a day, then they can't arrest you for it. But I think, we want lots of these. I want lots of shots that are taken unambiguously by a pervert lying on the floor, looking directly up.
Trying to upskirt Bigfoot.
Bigfoot
is just a sort of... Well, what is Bigfoot? That's one of the questions.
He's a pansexual androgynous
he's a monkey. I think our Bigfoot is a monkey.
He is a giant ape man or ape woman.
I've changed my mind. I think he's a fox that walks on 2 legs rather than 4.
You seem to be going against a lot of the
chest of
video footage we already have.
A big, ripped Dwayne The Rock Johnson sort of chest on a fox's body and tail, and the snout of a pig.
I'm thinking we might have to change.
Pigfoot.
That's the title.
Fuck.
Done.
Breaking news. Mandy Patinkin, a man close to my heart and vocal quality, has been cast as... Oh, God, it's very big, whatever this is.
I'm so excited.
The first female president of the US of A in... Quentin Tarantino. Now, that's a shame. Quentin Tarantino's upcoming, and here it is to complete the set. High fantasy epic.
Well, already some of these elements are coming together.
Mandy Patinkin fantasy.
My
name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my that's Mandy doing it. Prepare to die.
I don't think he was in that film.
He played
No, I think that's someone else. No, I was thinking female president and fantasy.
Oh! Gamers!
Oh!
Nice.
Because,
it's a step too far because you can't have... it's fine like the vote.
You can't have a woman leader because
I'd love to.
We've had 2, but they couldn't do it. Couldn't handle it.
They're not gamers at heart. They don't know how to micromanage their inventories.
Too emotional.
They don't know how to min-max the stamina meter.
And they have to miss a week a month.
A forward air is antithesis to anathema to these female
to the female experience. Yeah,
Quentin Tarantino and women shouldn't mix. And that's why we cast Mandy, a man with a woman's first name, traditionally. Although his name is Mandel, I think. But known as Mandy. And such a versatile actor that he will be able to fool Quentin Tarantino, foot pervert, into thinking that he is a beautiful, talented and intelligent first female pres of high fantasy USA.
Sorry, you seem to have made a judgment there that a woman president would have to be beautiful.
Beautiful inside. All presidents are beautiful inside.
Oh, hideous on the outside.
The office itself is a thing of beauty. Just look at it today. No, I don't mean the office of the room. I mean the office. The position.
The idea.
To hold the office is a beautiful thing, and it's because of people like Mandy and their commitment to the public good that we're able to live the life we are. He is leader of the free world.
Yes, she.
Yeah, she is leader of the free world.
Yeah.
Now, one ambiguity that I'd really like us to play with, because it's in these grey spaces that you really find some of the best things in the world.
Well, obviously.
Is the fact that we've got this high fantasy epic in what appears to be a kind of grounded reality when it says President of the USA. Mm-hmm. What if we make USA stand for something utterly different?
The Ultra Spooky Alliance.
Absolutely, it's that.
Okay, yeah.
Previously a very male-dominated hegemony kind of place. Mm-hmm. Now the Ultra Spooky Alliance is seeking to branch out,
because this is the great thing about misogyny, is that it's across all cultures and fictions,
even ghosts.
Well, yeah, especially
because they're all from the past.
Yeah, and they're always murdering you unless you are a virgin, in which case they save you for last and then fuck you and murder you.
That is the plot of every film that I've seen. So Mandy Patinkin and Tarantino
is a beautiful virgin.
Okay,
on the inside.
This does sound like a Tarantino. He's going to have no dialogue.
No lines at all.
I want to be clear
Does
about
not
this.
speak.
He's filmed only from the ankles down.
The ankles down or the tits up. But stopping at the neck.
Yeah, because above the neck there's nothing to see there. There's nothing to see or hear.
There's no
for Quentin. Yeah. Very normal and well-adjusted man that he is. I wonder how this film came about, because it's an unusual confabulation of parts. Where did Mandy and Quentin meet? How did the idea of this high fantasy ghost epic come into fruition?
Well, basically, Quentin was lined up to do a spin-off Criminal Minds movie in which Mandy was going to be coming back.
Oh, I didn't know he was in Criminal Minds.
Yeah, he was like the head guy in Criminal Minds for the first few series.
Interesting. He does have a great authority about him.
He does.
Which is why the president is...
wisdom.
Yeah, very wise.
And very sad eyes.
He can have some very sad eyes and voice, and he can sing like no one's business. So we'll be using that.
He doesn't sing.
He will only sing in the film.
He cannot. Well, he hasn't got any lines.
No. Not in the film. It's not diegetic singing. It will be him doing the soundtrack. But every second of the film is vocally scored as if a kind of internal monologue. We're not going to give him any tune.
No.
Or instruments. It would just be. And there was me with a ghosty.
Or 3.
For 98 to 104 minutes, depending on the cut.
Problem was, it turned out that everyone who watched Criminal Minds who wasn't my sister is now dead.
Or problem, I say solution, they can play some of the ghosts.
No. Well, what I'm saying is that's why they couldn't then get the funding.
I see.
But the like plot of the movie was going to be about this guy who is hallucinating all of these like werewolves and ghosts and vampires. And Mandy and Quentin had already put so much money into buying all of the costume and the kit,
the fancy dress. They call it fancy dress.
They bought all the fancy dress, and so they decided to kind of just shift the story a little bit out of the like Mind Bureau and into the office of the president.
They probably would have been able to take a lot of the fancy dress back, but Quentin had to try everything on. And Mandy was sitting there saying, Quentin, no, don't. Stop, Quentin, please.
He was going to intervene, but he saw an opportunity.
Yeah, he saw an opportunity for art and for activism.
And thank God he did, because I don't want to miss this movie.
Absolutely not.
Well, what's it called, by the way?
It's called If Ghosts Could Screech.
If Ghosts Could Screech. A play on the idea that women in politics...
Women in power are shrill.
Yeah.
That's a very common adjective used to describe them.
Yeah, well, they do...
Well, as a gamer, I find women upsetting. And let's just leave it
there. Yeah. Breaking news, guys.
Yeah.
Boris Karloff.
A name I haven't heard in a real while.
A giant, both in real life.
Yeah. Well, not now because he is dead, I think.
No.
Is he not?
You're going to like this, though.
He's back.
He's back. Yeah. Just like Stanley. Yeah, so breaking news. Boris Karloff has been cast as Richard Nixon.
Oh, wow.
Which works.
In a way. There's a monstrous overlap, but I don't think a physical one necessarily.
In Yorgos Lanthimos's...
Wow, this is the best film ever made so far. Don't ruin it with the genre.
Sci-fi franchise.
I have almost nothing to say about this.
No, there's almost nothing to ask, is there?
Karloff as Nixon, like I say, it would be so well received because everyone would be like, physically, no resemblance really to speak of.
Apart from both being just like, when they're in that makeup, a little bit kind of repulsive.
Yeah, but I think the stature of Karloff, Nixon I think of as a very squat, perpetually bending over, I am Malacrook!
Weighed down by all the lies.
Well, exactly.
You've been doing some stellar impressions today, let me just say.
Absolutely. I do an Ian McKellen, I won't be doing it today, but if Ian were to come out of any of these
He's not going to. I did make sure.
Okay, well, no worries.
I
guess next time. Or Alan Rickman as well, I do a good...
No, he's not.
Unfortunate. Yeah. So Karloff, whilst physically much more imposing a figure than Nixon, maybe more of an LBJ in terms of physical type.
Yeah.
I think what people would latch onto, and by people I mean the critics, the film critics out there like me, thank you for recognising that. Right. They would say the idea of taking someone famous for portraying some of history's biggest monsters, Frankenstein, ghosts,
is portraying
monstrous. A man who really took what we were talking about before, Mandy Patinkin's beautiful office as president of the USA, and just fucked it into the ground.
He did do
paving
a big
the way
sex
for
attack at it.
Some of the great denigrations of authority yet to come. I think they'd be interested in that collision of ideas and physical statuses. And for that reason, Lanthimos is a natural choice because he loves playing with that sense of duality.
He does. Now, his films, the characters in them speak, or they tend to speak in quite a sort of sociopathic, almost detached sense.
They speak like Rachel Weisz speaks in every film, even if it's not Yorgos Lanthimos.
Apart from 1999's groundbreaking action family thriller, The Mummy.
I didn't remember her in The Mummy because, for me, Brendan has this whole screen.
Obviously.
Yeah. So that stilted kind of deadpan dialogue lends itself, I think, well to a Nixon biopic. Is that what we're saying?
No, it's a sci-fi franchise. Sorry, I didn't think I specified
right,
that.
But I'm saying it's a biopic of his sci-fi life.
No, wrong. But what I'm saying is, a question I want to know is he going to be doing the voice, or is he just doing his own? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, let's leave it at that because for me and for Yorgos, triviality is such a performance.
Will he be doing an accent, and if so, which one?
Yes, he will be doing an accent, and it will change depending on the scene.
The planet.
Odd numbered scenes, he'll be doing an accent of Boris's own creation, which he considers a kind of tribute to his pan-European heritage.
And he has been waiting nearly a century to debut on the screen.
And then in the even numbered
it's interesting because even back in the 30s, he was not by law allowed to
speak.
Were like to use this accent.
Yeah.
They were like, if you do.
Well, it was going to start another great war.
Yeah.
And they just had the war to end all wars. Little did they know.
It was going to happen anyway. He may as well have got up and done it.
Even numbered scenes, it's a pirate voice. It's speaking to
because
the villainy.
He was a crook.
Yeah. And who's the bigger crook than the high seas stealers?
Absolutely no one.
No one.
Apart from Ted Cruz's prophecy of the space pirates, of course. But that is going to be something of a theme, I think, in the sci-fi franchise.
What's Nixon doing in space if it isn't Futurama? And how do we take that property out of the listener's, the viewer's mind so that it doesn't seem derivative?
Well, first of all, he is going to have a body.
Well, he did have a body. It was just only the head of the body.
Yeah, no, but he's going to have the rest of it.
And not the head. So it's the inverse.
The head will be there.
But not attached.
But here's what it is that he has a human body, but a new robo head.
A mouse's head.
Of a mouse, yeah.
That's really interesting.
I didn't specify because I thought that one was obvious.
And that's a statement on courage.
Yes.
Because he's a squeaky bitch. isn't he? Nixon.
Yeah, that
says on Wikipedia.
That's the name of the franchise.
Richard Nixon, Squeaky Bitch.
The Squeaky Bitch.
Yeah.
Saga. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's done. Yeah.
Okay. Right. One more.
We got one more each.
Okay.
I actually cannot remember what the fuck it is.
Breaking news. Idris Elba. Great actor.
Fantastic.
What a presence he has. He's doing something at the Young Vic soon.
Is he?
See. Very powerful. Has been cast as the Riddler. P. Uzzle himself. In famous acclaimed director. You remember his name. That's right. It's female Lynn Ramsey. In Lynn Ramsey's upcoming...
I want to see this film.
Gritty superhero movie.
Wow.
Well, 3 of these, in fact, all of them are just fine.
They go together.
Like, that is just
I'm afraid we've made the best film ever.
What would be really interesting about that is that the Riddler, a character about whom I know nothing other than
his name,
Mark,
P. Uzzle,
chasing his green car around for 50 hours in the Batman game. A character who, in every incarnation I've ever encountered, flouts the very concept of a riddle and seems to think that the only way to really test someone's intellect is to just hide shit and see if they can find it based on no clues. I think if Lynn, a fiercely intelligent director, brings it back to a very psychological drama, where Idris Elba, a powerful physical presence, a man who in many of his roles is punching and fighting, future James Bond, of course.
Well, yeah, inevitable.
Yeah, it's bound to happen.
And I'm looking.
There's going to be no backlash.
I can't wait for the day.
There hasn't been so far.
No, the British public want to see
more than ready for it.
As we're going to see in tonight's
European
EU elections.
Yeah.
The British public are post-racial.
Yeah. They don't
see colour
or villainy when it comes to superhero villains. What I'm liking though is this idea of a very powerful physical man, but he chooses to confine his antics to the intellectual realm.
That he knows he could beat the Batman in a fight.
Yeah, but he chooses not to because there's a victory so profoundly satisfying in it. He can taste it.
And he knows that is a better way to cuck the Batman.
Yeah, which is obviously the goal of any villain in Gotham is...
And that's why the Penguin always fails.
Yeah, just wasn't working out for him. Mr. Freeze as well.
Yeah.
Just didn't have the look.
So, I mean, this is pretty much settled, I think.
When it says gritty, now, obviously Luthor...
What I mean is, in his day job, he works...
A cam girl.
For a kind of... No, I was literally going to just say he sells, like, sand and stuff.
He grits the roads.
Yeah.
So that's an idea of, like, the way in which the state...
And he, like, plans...
Commodifies...
He plans routes to draw shapes, like a sort of non-verbal reasoning exam. And the Batman has to take these pictures from the sky and decode it.
That's interesting. And then, presumably, the Batman quite easily follow that trail back to the Riddler's cottage.
No.
Where he'll have set up a great deal of riddling traps.
Yes. I thought you meant, like, he would just be cooking and the Batman would be like, you're under arrest.
2018 or 19's Escape Room.
Now, you didn't speak an awful lot about that on the podcast, but
it was because it was the best film I've ever seen.
Is and I had that he did say that, and he hasn't stopped talking about it since.
It's honestly the apotheosis of cinema.
He's written to the director. He wants to star in the sequel.
I need to be in it. I will be in it. I'm making it. That's done.
What's it going to be called?
It's going to be called
one word title.
Riddler with no E, because it's
Riddler.
about apps.
And he's
the
gay.
Real villain. Riddle me this, bats.
Okay, final one. Breaking news. Although at this point, the people are probably like muted to it. Like it's like, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
P. Diddy's going to be playing.
Yeah.
I'm not ending that sentence.
That's for the best.
Olivia Colman.
Wow. Collie
has just been cast.
Did you know that she goes by Collie?
As
how does that make you feel?
Postman Pat.
Ah, Pat now short for Patricia, one assumes.
No.
Interesting.
In Christopher Nolan's upcoming
mind-bending box office slam.
Supernatural horror.
Wow. That's really cool, the idea of Postman Pat as a horror. And it, for some reason...
A supernatural horror.
Well, it ties such a perfect bow around the episode because we started with supernatural post-horror and...
We're ending with supernatural
ashes to ashes, post to post. Here we are again with Collie. As I didn't know if I mentioned, her friends do call her Collie.
I don't recall.
They do tend to call her Olivia Colman.
Oh my goodness.
Collie. She's now inhabiting a Postman Pat who either is or is haunted by a supernatural villain.
I'm thinking it's revealed that he is some kind of timeless being.
I can see that. I really can.
That he's been
a postman. What are they? They're fundamentally a deliverer of information, and that's quite it's a tale as old as time.
Well, and they're nomads, harking back to the earliest days of
because
humanity.
no postman's allowed to do the same route twice.
No, and they're not allowed to have a home.
That's true. They have to live in the
well, they are allowed to have one, but they can't afford to buy one.
Well, and also they can't stay in it for more than a day at a time because they'll be off to the next town to do the next post.
To deliver their post.
On a constant kind of sick rotation carnival ride.
Yeah, and they have a hive mind.
Yes.
So that they know where all the post is in each.
That's why sometimes
town.
you're talking to the postman and they glaze over and start dribbling and you wonder if they're okay, but they're just receiving a communique.
And you've often wondered if that was because you were topless.
Yeah, that does inspire that effect sometimes. But it turned out not to be the case here.
Oh, okay, I see.
Olivia Colman is versatile, granted. Oscar winning, also the case.
She brings a real pathos to any role.
She's got sad eyes. Yeah.
But she can cry funny.
She can cry funny, and that's going to be big in the supernatural.
It's going to be
horror.
It's going to
genre.
be how we achieve the real peaks and troughs, going from this, sad eyes to funny crying.
Here.
Okay.
Someone is sending a haunted doll. Maybe it's the Annabelle doll, and maybe we tie into that. I think James Wan Conjuring universe,
right?
Just because there's a kind of religion based around people who will go and see any film related to The Conjuring, even so tangentially that it's in a different country, time period, and about a different ghost.
Yeah.
So maybe we get some of their money and get those eyeballs on board.
That sounds easy.
Someone's sending Annabelle off to Borstal, Doll Borstal, where it's like a home for evil dolls.
Imaginary evil dolls
that are
very real.
That need to be kind of whipped into shape, and that is a literal whip. And we'll take up a very harrowing early scene in the kind of imagination of Pat.
Okay, and that takes place in Pat's own home. Maybe it's like it was Pat's last route. He's done all of the towns on Earth.
Okay.
And that's
99% completion.
And you come back to your own hometown. You deliver the post there one final time. Exactly. It's a classic horror trope.
But then if Pat's also a villain, and Annabelle definitely a villain, then maybe we've got a buddy movie.
No, I don't think Pat is a villain.
Oh, you've changed.
I've changed my mind.
Sixpence.
Yeah.
So Pat is the innocent, everyman kind of figure.
Exactly.
Which absolutely Olivia Colman can bring to the role. She's so relatable. We watched that Oscar speech in our millions. First person
She's people's princess
to say the word "cuck" in an Oscar speech.
Incredible.
Really interesting.
Groundbreaking.
Choice.
That's a glass ceiling no one needed breaking.
Absolutely, and some have hurried to have repaired.
She, in fact, I think is the, correct me if I'm wrong, she's the only woman to get the Gamer Seal of Approval.
She is, well, it's not the only one, but it's one of only a handful.
Is there, who's?
Zero Suit Samus from...
sorry, I meant living currently.
Yeah, she is alive in the Smashverse, yeah.
No, but I meant in this verse.
Well, there's an amiibo of her as well, so...
Oh, okay, sorry, my mistake.
There's a body pillow, what more do you need?
Okay.
So Coleman as Pat, just trying to get through the day. I think the energy we want to bring is a tired, I've done my bit, and now it's time to just hang it up. And the final, I think we're going to have a score from Johnny Greenwood or someone like that.
Okay.
A very kind of simple, stripped back, but a score that keeps you guessing with a certain level of ennui.
What about a kind
throughout.
What if it's, Pat's come back from this
back.
lifetime? Yeah.
Put that down in the title, maybe.
Sorry, I'm just going to...
P and then the @ sign because it's digital.
Yeah.
Because he's delivering email.
That looks like pass back.
Yes, it will.
Okay. Do you think there's going to be...
There'll be no problem with that. No.
So what I'm thinking is Pat has been on this kind of like Universal tour.
Yeah.
And is just coming back to the end. Is expecting a huge like warm welcome, like banners, maybe a street party in that depressing kind
Middle
of
England
village that he lives in, and he gets back and like he doesn't really recognize anyone because it's like quite Twin Peaksy. They're either dead or they've been corrupted by some kind of evil energy that's coming from the doll Borstal.
Can we have a sense that they're becoming dolls themselves?
Yes. Well, yes.
Perhaps we could have a scene
just a flat yes.
where Pat's engaging in a kind of postal transaction. I really trying to put the effort in because Pat's back to deliver, And
he says that as he knocks
hands
on
over
everyone's
the
door.
post, and the person who
Forces himself into their home.
the person who's taking it, their hand just drops like straight to the floor, and they're kind of like limp before pulling themselves back up, and you can kind of almost hear the clockwork. Blip, 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 blip. That's clockwork.
Like the sort of Stepford post.
Yeah, very much like that.
But I'm thinking that he's like quite depressed. He's quite troubled.
He's
by
seen
this.
too much, hasn't he?
Yeah, and
already?
he like feels really let down by the people of, is it Greendale where he lives?
No
I think?
fucking clue. To be honest.
I'm sure my mum.
If you don't know Postman Pat, I don't know how well he translated out of the UK. He's a cartoon postman.
And we're going to have to get onto the prosthetics in a minute because that is going to
well,
be a
he's
troubling
got
element.
a triangle for a face, not in the way you'd hope.
Not even a triangle. It is just a
bit
sort of
more rounded.
cylinder with an enormous fucking nose coming out of it, on top of which balances a pair of nonce glasses.
Yes, true.
But what I'm thinking is, he's like, I'm too old for this shit kind of thing. And I think Coleman can really like play with that line.
Well, maybe we can have that line in every scene so that she just has enough time to kind of mizen our way through a different.
And there could be one where it's like an incontinence joke. Maybe she's like in the bathroom.
Nice.
And it's like, because
it's all about light and shade, isn't it?
Exactly. Peaks and troughs of tension.
Yeah, that's what I always say.
And that is a peak. Because
you don't know where it's going to
go. But he then is like, he realizes what's going on, and he's the last person in this village, and he's like, even though he is too old for this shit, he's got to act like he isn't and save the day.
And he's got a bad back, Pat's back. That can be like a real Chekhov's gun, because we know the camera is always following his spine around.
I think that we could maybe attribute this to Chekhov. Like it could be.
Well, it's basically
Chekhov's Pat's back.
It's basically just the plot of Cherry Orchard, but with haunted dolls, postmen, and horrid doll villages.
Didn't he write a play about dolls anyway?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I can't think of Doll's House.
Yeah.
Is that Chekhov?
I think, is it?
Yeah. I mean, we both do think so.
We both.
It's either Chekhov or Ibsen.
We were probably in it. Oh, yeah, I think it could be Ibsen.
It could be Ibsen.
Yeah, but they're the same person.
Well, yeah, they wrote the same plays over and over
again. So what I'm thinking is we attribute it to Chekhov either way. Pat's back, but I'm going to throw this out there. No happy ending.
No happy. Well, if it's Nolan, I think the ending's got to be ambiguous.
Yeah,
it's got to be unclear whether
we're going to get a lot of
whether it's sad or very sad.
We're going to get a lot of bwams in there.
Yeah, every single post going through a letterbox. That would be really cool.
Yeah, Hans.
And maybe Pat can make those in the scene, showing a kind of awareness that the viewer's there.
Kind of wink to the audience from Nolan himself.
Fourth wall break, because Nolan loves to play metatextual games.
Jonathan's script, I think that's just a given.
Okay.
Given it's a Christopher Nolan
I guess
film.
So.
And I'm thinking that it's going to be, probably because his own film didn't go all that well, I think Wally Pfister's back.
Yeah, fair.
Well,
that's going to be powerful.
Exactly.
I think I remember correctly, Wally Pfister started in porn. I think this is true.
And you think he should end?
What I'm saying is
here.
A great way to...
You don't want to waste Coleman.
No, a great way to kind of break our expectations about this, let's be honest, tired doll post genre is to throw in some egregious, unsimulated fuck scenes.
And I'm going to throw this in as well. The rest of the film is animated like the original, kind of like stop motion-esque.
Yeah, a bit of Coraline to it. Maybe on the edges.
But the sex scene is just unfiltered people.
Yeah, and the elephant in the room, Jess the cat, watching.
Well, I think directing in the scene.
Okay.
It's meta-filmic.
So like a close-up, but a paw comes in and just pushes a hand up to caress a jowl.
Yeah, and
a wayward breast.
There's just some like vague meowing, and they're like looking around for direction.
And Jess is there just salivating because the doll's got to Jess in a hot way.
Yeah.
In a fuck way.
Yeah. And we leave it maybe, it's like, it's definitely not a happy ending.
What's the totem moment then? What's the close up on the totem? Is it in Pat's head?
I think it's maybe the zooming in on the doll.
I've got it.
Oh, okay.
The final shot is the letter on our balcony. We just zoom in on it and the credits start to come back.
And then a pigeon shits on it.
But no, it would be like a really somber ending. And maybe the final shot is Pat like looking off over the desolate, funk-ridden, hell that has become
that he's fucked his way through.
Yeah, left, right, and centre. And or in shot the whole time is this white envelope. But we're focusing on Pat. The music swells and cut to black. But we come back, like the end of The Shining, where we just have that really slow zoom on the picture of Jack being there since time immemorial. Mm-hmm. I think the same thing here with some weird kind of wistful but slightly upbeat swing or jazz. Like I'm thinking that Si Tu Vois Ma Mère song. It would be nice like that. Zooming in on it. And then it gets right up close to the very end. And instead of flat 1-3 Guardian Avenue, to be continued. Because Pat's back too. This time it's more Pat.
Done.
Well, there we have it, guys. If Hollywood wants to get in touch, it's tass@shame.city.
Cinema for the next decade, I think, there.
Planned out.
Done.
Planned out. And in the same, it's one of those time travel paradoxes. These things were all going to happen anyway. But is it because we said them, or did we say them because they were going to happen? And
I can tell you that in court, it will be that these were stolen.
I've edited my half of the audio out.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough.
It's much of a monologue for the grand scheme of things. We've got, speaking of monologues, great ways for you guys to avoid this show devolving into one big, long Isaac and Declan fest. Declan writing my full name now in a very freaky way on a piece of paper.
With the double S, of course.
Lovely. Really glad to see that. One such way is email, tass@shame.city. We love to hear from you. How would you feel about Postman Pat fucking your dolls, or maybe any stuffed toy from your childhood? How would you feel about seeing Idris Elba riddle his way through yet another career-defining performance? Let us know. tass@shame.city. Our inbox is always open to queries, advice. If you found something you think would tickle Declan's interest bone, then send it over to him via the same form. You can do so on the website, shame.city/contact as well. Twitter, Declan. God, there's Twitter, isn't there?
@That'sAShameCast is a way to reach the show. As soon as the episode's posted, I will be replying to the official tweet with pictures of the haunted ghost post.
Lovely.
Which was surely an episode title.
Haunted ghost post, maybe.
Haunted ghost post and Pat's back. I will be replying to it with that picture. You can make some judgments for yourself. Maybe you think this whole thing's a false
missed
flag.
a clue. Maybe there's something so obvious, like a big. Maybe if we look now, there's just a hand.
There's just a guy. He's just sat there
putting posts.
It's Olivia. There she is.
Collie, we call her. To her friends. As well as our show Twitter, we've got
individual Twitters @IsaacBD for Isaac, @DE Delane for myself.
Why not follow Declan on the gram, on the IG, where he won't stop posting his daily progress?
I haven't posted something since the old king was alive.
That's @Declan Delane, I think, probably.
Maybe.
Why not? Get over there. Check out his great posts.
What about you? You're on there as well.
No,
I'm
not on
do
Instagram.
post.
No, I'm not on there.
I'll make sure to link it.
One of the other things about this show is that we are floundering in the mire when it comes to reviews, because sure, we've had mostly 5-star reports through our entire life, but on the other hand, they were all given a maximum of 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And that doesn't feel good in our souls and spirits.
No.
So shame.city/review or reviews, and it's linked to in the fucking show notes. You're welcome.
I want to just make a point that I think that some people are suffering from what I like to call German homework syndrome when it comes to reviews.
Go on.
Which is, it's actually a bit of a misnomer because it could apply to any homework really.
Okay.
But specifically in German, a lot of people would use the excuse for not having done the homework that was, say, write about what you did at the weekend by saying, I didn't really do anything this weekend, so I didn't have anything to write about. Or like, it was like, write about your siblings. It's like, I'm an only child, so I didn't do it. And as every language teacher that I ever had used to say is, it doesn't fucking matter, make it the fuck up.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people are worried that if they were to leave a review, they would have to report some of the crime that goes on here week by week. And I'm here to say
guys,
that you
I've
don't
not heard any of that.
And
I listen out. I keep a right ear open for that.
Even if it is the case that somehow you have, maybe there's like a corruption on your recording or something that causes that.
Well, it's deep fakes.
Then and feel free to just say that it's really good anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's with the 5 stars traditionally. Last but not least is it last but not least? No, 2 more things.
There's a Discord.
3 more things.
I'm going to be posting a Spotify playlist in there later for a friend of the show,
up.
Kangaroo.
So if you want to, maybe you'll link it to the gram as well, just so that all the follows
I'll
that are
pop it
funneled
straight
there.
on the gram. Yeah,
that's good.
Stop.
Discord.com/shame.city/discord.
Yeah.
Fucking never ever get that right. Patreon, if you've got $1 to spare and you like to support us with our single high beam light that we have set up
goodness
here,
me.
then
I'm blind in the left eye.
excellent.
No depth.
Glad to hear.
all.
Patreon.com/ShameCity is the place. You get some good perks. I'll be posting the penultimate for the month quickfire tomorrow. Already
Incredible.
recorded. And here's a little clue for you. It's one for the gamers. It's about Team Sonic Racing. Very lucky guys indeed. Last but not least, and I want to stress that enough, not
In fact, last but most, I think.
Yeah.
After
word
the Patreon.
of mouth is the best of mouth. It's the best of the mouth.
Always has been.
Yeah.
Always will be.
Always will be. And you can take that to the bank. Tell a friend. Tell an elderly relative. Tell a young relative. Tell a cousin that you're not quite sure if it would be appropriate to ask out on a date, depending on where you're from.
Tell a
Maybe
bus
they're a
driver.
second or third cousin and you're unsure about the legality. My rule personally, if there's blood, keep him in the mud. And by the mud, I mean away from you at the end of the garden. But that's up for grabs, isn't it?
That actually, he doesn't mean like if you share any blood. He just means he will not date someone if they have blood.
Yeah, it's a strict robo
He can
only.
barely get by with his own.
Yeah. Tell someone about the show, won't you? Because God knows we don't do it. So someone should.
Someone's got to spread the good word.
Until episode 145, which I'm sorry to say, this one won't be for the gamers. It will actually be it will be quite anti-gamer.
Okay, that's good.
Because it's about balance here.
Yeah, and it's made me sick to
At the
pretend to be a
DBC.
gamer.
I've been Isaac. You've been.
I've been Declan.
Keep on rising up.
Bye, guys.
The bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. For the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder, my new home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. The bare necessities of life will come to you. Necessities, the bare necessities, the bare necessities of life will come to you.